Good morning, year two, and welcome to another week. This is the last week of writing our non-chronological report together, and then you can have a go at doing your own. Let's have a look at what we're going to focus on this week. We're going to focus on using the conjunction because. We're going to focus on using the conjunction or in our writing, and we're going to end on the last chunk of writing with a question. So get your thinking hats on and let's get to thinking about what pirates ate when they were at sea. Think of a subheading for that. Would it be what did pirates eat? Or it could be pirate menu. It's up to you. You decide on a subheading and then we'll get going with our next chunk of writing. Let's have a look at one of the chapters in our books. It's called Turtles and Hardtack. Pirates lived at sea for a very long time, and there were no shops and there were definitely no fridges. So how did they keep their food fresh? Well, one of the things they did was keep live animals on board. Pirate ships carried live animals, so pirates had fresh meat to eat. So they would have things like chickens and even turtles if we look closely. They also had spices on board, and those spices were used to cook and also to hide the taste of rotten meat. And then there's the fish that was kept in salt from stopping it from going off. Salt was used to preserve lots of food on board a ship, so their food tasted pretty salty all the time. And then what's this other thing? Hardtack. Sometimes the only food that a pirate had to eat was hardtack, which is a very dry biscuit, tough and dry biscuit, and they were often full of maggots, so the pirates had to eat them without looking closely. I think I'll leave that one for later. Have a look closely and you'll see there's a recipe for hardtack on the screen. If you want to have a go at making hardtack to see how they tasted or how they didn't taste very much, then go ahead and show us your biscuits. Tell us what you think of them. Let's move on to write the first chunk of writing, all about their tasteless food. We're going to collect some adjectives. Let's think about a boring, dry biscuit. What could it taste like? I've got some suggestions for you. It could be dull. Very dry. Bland. Bland means it doesn't really taste of anything. Very boring. In fact, it's like eating cardboard. Quite hard to swallow. So collect some words for a very dry, boring biscuit. And then let's think, why did they have to eat this biscuit, which wasn't very nice? They had to eat it because, well, they were hungry, they were starving, there was nothing else to eat. They were desperate. And then let's put those ideas together with the conjunction because. So we're going to try and write a sentence with because. The pirates ate dull, boring biscuits because there was nothing else for them to eat. Or the pirates ate tasteless biscuits that were like cardboard because they were hungry. They were the only things that could be stored on board for a long period of time without rotting. You decide. What's this chunk of writing going to describe? How's this chunk of writing, going to describe these dull, boring biscuits that they had to eat? What else did they have to eat? Let's think of our next sentence or our next chunk if you've been using more description. Now, we're thinking of adjectives again, and we're going to use the conjunction or. Can you remember we said that they used to have salt to preserve things? Well, they used salt to preserve meat. Here they would keep them in big giant barrels. There's salted pork, salted beef, salted chicken. So we could say that they would eat the dull hard biscuits because there was nothing else to eat or they were desperate. Or they also ate salted beef. Or, oh, I've made a spelling error there. I've put slated pork. That should say salted pork or salted chicken. How are you going to describe that salted pork and chicken? What do you think it would taste like? You could deepen the moment and describe the salty flavour and the reason that they had to use salt. Can you remember? To keep it preserved, to stop it from going off. Pause the video and write this chunk of writing describing the salty meat. Finally, today, you're going to end with a question. So we're going to literally talk directly to the reader. So far in this subheading, you have written all about the food on board a pirate ship. Remember, you can always use your own information and your own research if you've got any extra detail that you want to add to any of these parts of the story, parts of the report. Okay, let's end with a question. Would you be tempted with a dry biscuit? Does that sound like something you'd want for breakfast? Are you hungry? Not really. How does that sound to you? What would you eat on board a pirate ship? You decide on your question, but remember, when you're using a question in your writing, you need to use the right punctuation to end it. Have fun writing under today's subheading. We've got 2 more to go after this, boys and girls. So I'm looking forward to seeing your next part of your non-chronological report. Bye for now.